Welcome back to The Last of Us Part 2. So after that pointless detour with the war, maybe we can get back to the plot or whatever remains of it.
But Pedro, don't you see, Abby is now willing to kill her fellow comrades, and unlike with Joel, that's apparently A-okay. Oh, wait, no, actually better yet.
Because these companions are evil.
No, even better. Remember how the game made such a big deal when we killed the WLF members as Ellie, someone who didn't know these people?
Mm-hmm.
Yet when Abby, who should know these people, does know these people for years, kills them, she's completely justified in doing that in defense of two kids that she has barely known for less than 3 days.
Oh great, please tell me I don't have to once again go all the way through the fucking aquarium just to get to them.
So, Shiroy, Dwibs, it's time for that one old familiar question. Do you like Abby yet for all the good she's done?
I'll repeat what I said earlier. I like her as much as I like my migraines.
Pretty much.
Well, what? They come and go and you forget about them in the end.
And they're very painful.
Jova, going off what you said earlier, what was it you asked again?
Do you like Abby yet?
No, before that.
You mean about the whole recap about how, it's okay when Abby kills the WLF, who, she should know for all this time.
Yeah, that's...
But when Ellie kills them, it's wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Oh, God,
Alice, no! Well, now Ellie has to die, Shiroy. Sorry.
Stay behind me.
She's not that torn up over the dog.
Okay, I do appreciate
Not
it.
really.
Okay, although they showed us like the dog, which is obviously a kind of a narrative thing, I do appreciate at least that they didn't make us hang around so Abby could cry and be like everybody being so melodramatic about this. That's something I would have expected them wholeheartedly to do. So I actually do genuinely appreciate that they didn't.
That is a good.
That's the thing. She also does. She also does not get all that shaken up about their deaths either. Check this out.
Yeah, watch this.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh no." She sounds more disappointed than sad, really.
It's like, oh, guys, really? You had to go and die like that? I am so disappointed in you.
Couldn't you wait till I got here?
Oh,
Abby,
no.
you've been seeing dead bodies throughout this whole game. Why are you just now vomiting?
Well, they're close friends, and also they've been here for a while, so they probably smell a bit.
But still, Abby, you've been seeing dead bodies for longer than that, even. So
She's actually grieving here, at least.
Sort of, kind of. Again, the problem is that the way she grieves makes it hard to really have us imagine that she cares for her friends that much. Granted, we, the audience, don't have much reason to care about her friends either. But if anyone should care, surely it should be Abby.
And there you go. See, thanks to Ellie leaving her map behind like a moron with all the notes she made, now Abby can track them all the way back to the future. That's how Abby finds them. Good job, Ellie. Good job.
It's not as contrived as all the contrivances revolving around Joel's death, but it's still pretty contrived and stupid of Ellie, especially since Ellie has not been acting this stupid up to this point.
And guess what? Lev is apparently A-okay with Abby going on to take revenge against them. So I guess Lev at this point is just. I mean, you can make an argument that Lev has nobody left but Abby, so he has not. He doesn't have that much choice.
Pedro, what about that one point where Lev actually intervenes?
Well, hold on. We haven't got the. Hold on. We haven't gotten to that yet. Give me a moment.
I'm just saying.
All right, and now what Jova said a few parts ago becomes relevant. As you got, remember when Jova was talking about how we didn't properly secure the theater? Well, there you go. Now Abby and Lev are capable of infiltrating the theater easily, as you're about to see. You'd think Ellie would do something about this because we did pass this spot as Ellie, so you'd think she would do something about those stairs, but no.
Especially after killing the friends of the
You know-
people who killed your father figure. Like, everybody here is
Not
too
only-
stupid.
Sure. Think back to Joel's death. One of the main reasons Ellie was able to witness Joel's death was because Abby's group forgot to secure the room that they were killing Joel in.
How
So
did any of you survive the last 5 years?
Like, that's the thing. Everything surrounding Joel's death is so stupid when you think about it. Especially like Pedro mentioned, the WLF wearing WLF attire when
Yeah.
killing Joel, which allowed them to
It-
retract.
Joe-
Mind you, they didn't even really have that much a plan in the first place when
Joe,
going
it's like
out to kill Joel.
Jove, it's like it's an idiot plot, much like JLA Act of God. It's an idiot plot where the only reason there's a plot at all is because every character is the stupidest person that has ever been born.
And you know what? And I just say it right now, at this point, most people are still rooting for Ellie and her companions. Hell, most people were rooting for Tommy when he sniped Manny, even though we're playing as the people against him. Because we have more reason to care about those characters. And as far as we're concerned, Abby is still a cold-blooded murderer who killed and tortured the man who saved her life. Like, okay, again, I could get if she still wanted to kill him, but do it mercifully at least, you know. And that's something Joel didn't even torture or kill his victims, but Abby, no, Abby gets off of the torture.
Again, going back to what was said very early on, they should have gone with the idea of bringing Abby into the camp.
Jackson, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, guys,
Hold on. I want you guys to pay close attention to this cutscene because let's just say there's going to be something that not a lot of people bring up, at least that I've seen on YouTube.
All right, let's
so
see.
I want to point this out when it happens. So pay attention here.
Hands up. Back away from your shit. I said back up!
You're making a big mistake.
Don't fucking turn around. Liv, keep your bow on him. Get on the ground.
You wanna kill me like a coward?
You fucking people.
And Jesse's dead again.
Stand up! Hands in the air, I shoot this one too.
So let's see. Let's see what actually happens this time.
Stand up! Now!
Don't you fucking dare!
Shut the fuck up! Alright? Stop! Stop! Toss your weapon. Toss your weapon! I know why you killed Joel. He did what he
You
did
do?
to save me.
Oh yeah,
There's no
right,
cure
you
because of
do.
me. I am the one that you want. Just let him go. You killed my friends.
And you killed Joel.
You let
Yeah.
Joel live. And you wasted it.
All right, pay attention here. So
Tommy's been shot in the head.
So Tommy's dead now, right? Okay, fine.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
Can I talk about? Well, actually, I've already talked about it, but I'll still say it anyway because it bears repeating. Like seriously, how many people have died completely suddenly and without any time for us to process their deaths by this point? There was Tommy, Jesse, Manny. Who else, Jova?
Okay, I don't know, but I really need to talk about what's going on right now. Okay, folks. So, welcome to the part where a lot of people did one of three main actions. They either A, rage quit the game right here, B, intentionally die at this point, or C, just check out mentally and continue playing the game here. Which I believe Pedro was about to action.
sorry, guys. I thought I could take her.
No, Pedro. You got the secret good ending of the game. Now, no, seriously though, screw this section so much. You are forced.
Story-wise or gameplay-wise?
Both.
Both.
I mean, okay, sure. Gameplay-wise, this is actually a pretty fantastic boss battle.
And it's
But
and it's actually pretty well directed from a visual standpoint, from a cinematic
the problem
standpoint.
is that gameplay-wise, we literally do not want to do this as players. Like,
No.
the game is essentially forcing you to brutally take down Ellie, who has not only had her father figure tortured and killed in front of her by the very person you are playing as, but also has seen one of her best friends get murdered by this person you are playing as. And trust me, this person you're playing as is going to do some even worse stuff after she has beaten Ellie. But mind you, after she also shot and killed Tommy. Well, from what we've seen anyway. So, basically, the game expects you to go through with...
Be careful, Ellie. Don't bite her arms. You might break your teeth.
I know, right? Like,
You know. Oh, sorry.
there's no enjoyment to be had out of this. Like, and I get it. They don't want you to enjoy this. But
We don't
it's
use the
a-
word fun, Jova. We don't use the word.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys. I accidentally didn't press L1. I'm sorry.
Again, that's another secret good ending. But, okay, honest question. Like I said, this part hinges on you liking Abby, because unless you like Abby, this part is just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, the
to
plot
play as.
of this game is entirely dependent on making us empathize with Abby, which the game utterly fails completely because the way it tries to make us empathize with Abby is in such a cartoonish, ridiculous way that it makes no sense. Oh, sorry, guys. I really thought that bottle would kill her. Sorry.
Quick thing I just thought of, but
Go ahead.
like the narrative would still need the narrative and the characters would have need to have been better anyway, but it would have been nice if these were, because they're having this run on a single trail, but it would have been something if we were given
A choice.
base what I mean is from the beginning two separate, well, sort of,
Like
two
Sonic
parallel
Adventure
story.
2?
Yes, kind of. Yeah.
I see what you
Where
mean.
depending on how we felt about the ending of the last game, we could make our decision of who to choose based on that and go through the story that way.
Yeah,
Again,
I
the
agree.
characters would have need to have been a lot better still, but that could have been something that would have worked instead of making players do things they really don't want to.
Or hell, here's another idea. Do what Fall of Cybertron did, and at this point, let us pick which of these two girls we play as. I mean, sure, most people would probably pick Ellie given the garbage narrative here, but at least give players the choice. Like, let me put it like this. Like many people have put it, at this point, it feels like you're just an actor who is working with two puppets here. Watch as you are forced to choke the character you actually like with a character that you'll probably hate. And it's like, you're just an actor. You're acting out a script given to you by the game developers as you operate these two characters, which are pretty much just puppets to the narrative. Because at no
Although,
point was...
isn't that every movie ever?
That's the thing.
Bro, this is a
It makes
game.
you- Yeah, this is supposed to be a game, not a movie. Like, the criticism that some of Naughty Dog's games were starting to feel like movies? Well, instead of proving those detractors wrong, it's like they dove right into that pool. Like, seriously. I could go on forever about how terribly this is. It wasn't earned in the slightest, and if people aren't going to be angry beyond belief, thank you, Pedro.
I'm there.
Proximity mine that Ellie put.
That's the thing. Ellie has a full weapon set in this boss fight.
This makes
Again,
me wish we were playing A Way Out again.
I know, right? Yeah, that's the thing. A Way Out gave you that option as well. So, depending on who you thought deserved better to, make it out alive, would make it out alive if you chose that again.
It's not even a choice. It's more so that the two players face against each other, and whoever wins gets the ending.
Yeah.
That too, yeah. Like, let me put things into perspective here. This is like if you were playing a Transformers game, and the game expected you to side with the Decepticons, and you play as the Decepticons, killing Optimus Prime, and the game expects you to like it. Like, that's the major problem with this game. Again, if this game recognized that Abby was pretty much a villain, all of this would have been a lot better. Sure, we would have hated playing as Abby, but at least the plot would have recognized that she's a villain. Like, and let me remind you, the only person, Mel, well, okay, Owen kind of called out Abby, but he pretty much gave way to the sweet call of cheating sex, so he doesn't count. The only person who legit called Abby out was Mel, The problem is that Mel's an idiot herself, being pregnant and coming out onto the battlefields, and Mel ends up dead. Not only that, but Mel's scene is literally countered by Yara saying,
sorry.
no, she's wrong about you. You're better than that. And the game expecting us to go with that.
Basically, yeah.
I have more to say, but Shiroi, Dwibs, and Pedro, anything else you guys want to add on this?
I said what I wanted
Yeah, I
to
gotta
already
say,
for
yeah.
now, so...
Yeah, damn. Abby is not having. For being such a skilled fighter, Abby is not having any luck with it.
Yeah.
Trust me, Dwibs, relish this. Absolutely relish this, because I'm not kidding. A lot of people at this point...
Is most of the part just Abby dying?
I wish.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because Pedro, like, despite showing off a few Abby deaths throughout this, I think he's been quite restrained, you know, and now he's just letting loose on this.
So it'd be like if that'd be like if I hated Cloud during the 7 remake, I'd just throw him off a cliff or something.
Yeet him into the void or something.
That's a thing. There are actually a lot of ways to die against Ellie. Like I said, if this were better circumstances, I would wholeheartedly like this gameplay sequence. Lord knows, it's once again something that actually spices up things.
Yeah, like
gameplay-wise.
Liv said, Abby's not in her day, it seems. But yeah. Okay, let me see if I can count all of them. So we have Jesse, Manny, Tommy now. There was another one somewhere.
Wasn't it that friend that Ellie killed? Well, I guess his death wasn't as sudden. Are we only talking about absolutely sudden deaths?
Those the kind of sudden deaths that we just saw from Tommy and from Jesse as well, and Manny.
Don't forget Isaac. The guy.
Oh yeah, Isaac and Yara. Isaac and Yara. Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, Isaac and Yara.
Remember, the game was practically hyping up Isaac to be one of the main bad guys, and then they just shoot him dead in a few seconds.
Exactly.
Yara who's already dying anyway.
So basically, we have five characters in this game that get randomly killed in such a quick way that it's impossible to even process. Like, seriously, what kind of fetish is this that this game has with character deaths?
Hey,
Jesus.
Pedro, you want to count all of Abby's friends, the WLF, who she betrayed and are now all dead as a result of the war? Oh, hey, Dina.
Dina. Hey, Lev. Lev,
Lev.
Hey, Lev, I thought Abby told you.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Pay attention to this. Wait until you see Abby's reaction. She smiles sadistically about killing a pregnant woman, and the only thing that stops her...
Wait, Neil, I thought you said we were supposed to like Abby.
Not only that, but remember how Lev was A-okay...
I guess you attacked her first, but still.
Remember how Lev was A-okay with, helping Abby, but now he's like, stop. So, and let me remind you, Abby was smiling sadistically about killing a pregnant woman, and she was gonna do it. Until Lev just says, no, Abby, don't.
Please, Abby, don't do it. And she lets Ellie live again. Okay, I can understand. I can understand not killing Dina because of Lev's plead. I get that, but why leave Ellie alive? So what exactly did you come here for then?
Wait, is this literally it?
Okay, Shiroi. Believe it or not, this is what a lot of people believe to be the end of the game, going off of the leaks here.
Yeah, starting from this point on, it's all new stuff that wasn't leaked.
Okay, so Shiroi, honest question.
Well, except for one scene, but it was presented out of context.
Assume that this is the ending, Shiroi. How would you have liked that as an ending?
I hate this whole thing, and that's the thing. The people who, just like, I'm talking about a specific group of people here. The people who call people who don't like this game just simple haters, I don't think they understand that The Last of Us was one of the most popular games at its time. People didn't want to hate the sequel at all. Nobody wanted to hate this.
No. Not to mention...
Like, we're not hating it because we're bad people. We're hating it because there's stuff here to hate.
Well, it's good to see. It's good to see that all that violence that we just saw didn't make Dina lose her baby. Considering her pregnancy was a risky pregnancy, you'd think that would cause some problems, but I guess not.
And the immense stress from that.
That's one thing. That's one thing I've been noticing recently in games. They tried to make us feel sorry for one character, but they bungled it so much I actually feel sorry for the other one. Case in point, the bloody Akumura arc in Persona 5.
Now, Shiroi.
Okay, I'll elaborate a little bit, but I won't go too deep into spoilers. Throughout the whole game, up to that point, Morgana, the cat, was basically mocking Ryuji for being useless and pathetic and all that stuff. And yet, one of the very first times Ryuji does it to him, he throws a hissy fit and runs away.
Oh,
from the
is that the
thieves.
stupid summer arc people keep talking about, or September?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Jesus, okay.
the September
Yeah.
arc. It was meant to make Morgana more sympathetic and that he feels useless. Because since we got a new member of the Panther Thieves that basically did what he does, but better when we're in more detail. But it just comes off to me as he just can't take what he can't take what he's been given. That's not sympathetic.
I don't know.
I've heard
Being
most
a
people
douche.
hate that particular
Auntie
arc,
Talia.
actually.
Who the hell?
like it.
Dress not for nothing, but I want to compare to the game. Who is this Auntie Talia? We've never mentioned or seen this woman up until this point. So, but I guess
Don't care.
me neither. But anyway, let me just finish. Like it's again, it's this. Okay, like so. Basically, what you're telling me is that Abby went to the theater for absolutely nothing. Like seriously, like she was so angry and wanted to take revenge on behalf of her friends, but then just because Lev says, "Abby, no, please," and then she immediately lets go of her rage, and just because Lev told her to. Like,
And that's the thing. It shows Abby didn't change at all. Despite what Yara and Lev suggest, Abby was still a sadistic, loving, torturing murderer. And she was taking glee. Like, again, compared to Ellie. Ellie had regrets when she found out Mel was pregnant.
My
Hell,
dear
come to
Dina,
think of it-
thank you for your letter and your photograph. JJ, that's the baby's name, gotten so big already. He's got Jesse's smile. If he's anything like his dad, well, good luck. I can't wait to visit you. My back has been acting up again, but I'm on demand. The doctor still thinks I need a few more weeks of rest. As soon as I can, I'll be there. I appreciate the tender words in your letter. I will say what I hope is obvious. Jesse wouldn't blame you for what happened, and neither do any of us. We love you. You are part of the family. So basically, Jesse's parents are still in touch with us.
Okay.
But yeah, basically what happened, Shiro, is that we don't even see what happened. Abby leaves, and now we skip to Dina and Ellie being on the farm that was foreshadowed before. When Dina said she wanted to start a farm with all the goats and shit and the sheep. Well, there you go. Now we're living on a farm. So
Okay. Sorry, I have to address the stupidity of wanting to live on a farm in the middle of the flipping apocalypse. First off, where did you get all this produce from? Did the citizens of Jackson just say, "Oh, hey, take some of our cattle and sheep and whatnot here"? 2, getting resources is gonna be a pain because there are zombies out there. 3, it has been stated that during the winter, zombies migrate en masse, so that farmhouse is going to be a death trap during the winter. 4, why would you leave the safety of Jackson, especially after all that's happened to you? Mind you, this doesn't even take place that long after the last thing we went through. It's like a year or so later, I think.
I ain't got a minute. The main goal of one of the characters is to start a family and go on a farm. Did you steal the motivation? Did you steal the main goal of the lead character of Red Dwarf? A bloody space comedy.
apparently,
I mean,
The only differences are it's not the farm isn't on Fiji, and it was a bloke who wanted to do the thing, but that's it.
Look, visually the farm scene looks nice. But when you actually think about it, this is one of the worst places to live on your own, mind you, in the middle of the apocalypse. Stick in the safety of the Jackson community, you squares.
Don't you mean you Enixes?
but that's okay.
So,
But it's
well-
okay. But it's okay. But it's okay, guys. It's okay because, well, how about this? Look, for as the game hasn't earned this epilogue or a slash ending. However, at the same time, it is important to remember that at the very least now we can take solace in the fact that, well, at the very least this ending feels appropriate in the sense that neither Abby nor Ellie got the revenge they wanted. However,
technically, Abby did get the revenge she wanted.
Sure.
She wanted to kill Joel. She got to kill Joel, and she pretty much got off scot-free for it. Like, again, the game tries to suggest that her losing her friends was her punishment, but like you guys have said, she doesn't seem to really care that much. But okay, we can take some solace in this. Go on.
Yeah,
Pedro.
we can take solace in this. Okay. At the very least, now we can make the argument that, okay, at the very least, now the game has made its point, okay? You know, like, just let go of your feelings of revenge and just try your best to live a peaceful life. Both Abby with Lev and now Ellie, together with Dina and JJ, can live a peaceful life. So at the very least now, you know, a lot was lost, but at the same time, they also kind of gained inner peace thanks to just, you know, giving up on the whole thing. And at the very least now we can, again, for as much as the game didn't earn this conclusion, at the very least it feels, at the very least, like the game is at the very least trying to make its point in a somewhat appropriate way. Oh, and here we're going to D and E, get it? And now we're going to put JJ in there.
By the by, yes, the baby's name is JJ, so it's either Joel Jr. or Jesse Jr. We never actually do learn what his full name is, but either way,
It's probably Joel.
Maybe it's
How
Joel
many parts
Jesse.
are left?
No, Liz, what are you talking about? Clearly, this is the end. I mean, we're about to basically end the game. This is a perfect way to end the game. It wouldn't really make any sense for the game to keep going after this. So,
For what I can think of, there's still a couple of loose ends in the plot.
What loose ends, Dwibs?
Oh, look! Toy elephants.
The whole plot's a loose end, but aside from that, what about the aftermath of that horrible little battle earlier between between Abby's ex group and the current group?
There you go.
They all died.
There you go.
Like I told you, they literally all die. But hey, at least we get this touching ending.
There you go. See,
Mind you, they die off screen.
There you go. See, at the very least, this ending feels appropriate to have. You know, like both characters, both our two protagonists get to live their lives despite everything they've lost. In peace, thanks to the new people they found. Ellie found Dina, and now she even has a kid to look after. And Abby now has Lev. So basically, at the very least now, it feels like at the very least it feels poignant enough, and it feels like it's an appropriate way to end the story here. The game didn't earn this conclusion. But, hey, whatever. At the very least, this feels like a conclusion that is perfectly acceptable. Oh, and now she basically, Ellie calls JJ her little baby potato.
Damn, what is it with this year? Yeah, and having a bunch of controversial endings for games.
This one takes the cake. Like, the 7 remake has its issues. Resident Evil 3 remake's ending wasn't so much controversial. It was more so the remake itself which had issues. But regardless, though, yeah, Final Fantasy VII's remake was weird. But, it wasn't, say, something that, for a lot of people...
Basically, before we finish this, I wanted to show off the weapon... the weapon improvement animations. Remember, a lot of employees at Naughty Dog were forced to crunch to get all this shit done, so might as well at the very least be able to at the very least appreciate their hard work, at least.
Hey guys, I got a bit of a fun fact for you.
Yes.
What?
So, in the amount of research I've been doing for this game, it turns out that a bit of a dialect about the original plot of Last of Us has come up, what Neil Druckmann originally had in mind for it. And this may interest you. Originally, what Neil had imagined was that Last of Us would see a betrayed Tess pursue Joel and Ellie across America in search of revenge. Sound familiar? It gets better here. apparently Neil Druckmann had a much darker idea in mind for Tess in Last of Us, about how in the initial plans it would be about how she was betrayed by Joel and would have her brother killed by Joel, and she would have taken on a mission to pursue him across the country. And then, get this, after killing Joel, then the last act of the game would have been about Ellie pursuing Tess back for vengeance of killing Joel. Doesn't that sound familiar? But get this, the storyline never worked out. Why? Well, because Bruce Straley at the time pointed out the fact that, well, it wouldn't make sense for somebody to be going cross-country across the country in the middle of a zombie apocalypse for vengeance. It just wouldn't be practical and wouldn't make for that good a story. So, with Bruce Straley kind of now not in his way, it seems that Neil Druckmann brought that plot idea back for this game.
Yeah.
Where was that stated? Out of curiosity?
I literally posted an article about it.
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
there are articles on the internet about it.
geez.
So, yeah, it turns out the writing was on the wall before.
Yeah, it was.
Get this, Ellie's arc originally was going to be that she didn't kill any non-infected people until the end, when she was going to kill Tess, to show her loss of innocence and all that.
You know what, guys? I think I've got it.
What?
Yep.
I think I figured out probably the only way a video game this year can have a more controversial ending than this one.
How?
Say Crash Bandicoot 4 is about time, ends with Cortex and Crash just suddenly out of nowhere, with literally no build-up, all of a sudden becoming mates, BFFs.
Honestly, I'm sorry. Okay, Crash is the kind of wacky series where if you give a proper context, I can sort of see that happening. So we'd have to try even harder to do something that would piss people off to that extent. Not only that, but Crash is a series made for longevity, so it would probably get undone or whatnot by the next game. Whereas Last of Us...
I got an even better one, Jova.
What?
Coco was secretly a Cortex spy the whole time.
Sure,
okay,
why not?
now, again, that would be iffy. Again, I think part of the issue is that with a series like Crash Bandicoot, it's a lot more wacky, so people have a much bigger suspension of disbelief here, especially with the characters being a lot looser. Besides, it wouldn't be the first time Coco has turned against Crash for whatever reason, though.
Well, that was mainly
because of mind
down
control.
to mind control.
Well, Dwibs, that would probably be the retcon for the next game again. I think the thing... Okay, yes, if Crash did that, people would probably be pissed off. The problem is that even if that did happen, they probably wouldn't be as pissed off with this game because, like I said, Crash is a series where that can just as easily be undone. Not so much with the damage done in Last of Us 2. Like, again, nothing short of pretty much a full-on retcon or, like, a replacement game is going to heal the...
Yeah.
Yeah, Sony accounted their lucky stars that this isn't their last big PS4 exclusive.
Anyway,
that would have been quite a downer to end it on, wouldn't it?
so yeah, guys, what do you guys think of the super detailed weapon modification animations?
I mean, it looks nice. It's nice.
No, but there's a good reason though as to why many games don't do this. All we're doing is seeing someone put a weapon together. It's not very fun.
Well, to be fair, Dwebs, the only reason we're seeing a lot of it is because I'm showing this video that compiled all of them in one video. When you're actually playing through the game, you don't see like 15 minutes of this. You just see like 1, 2, maybe 3 at most, depending on how many bolts you have to improve your weapons. So you don't spend 15 minutes stopped in the game watching this. Like, it's just.
I mean, the designers worked very hard, but this was unnecessary for them, and I feel bad for them.
Yeah, like, here's my stance on this. It's nice. It's great detail, but detail like this is not what makes a game great. I'm sorry. Like, yes. Okay, if this were already a good game, sure, this would be nice and extra polish here. But in terms of the crunch and whatnot, this was something that they could have just let go. Save it for another game or IP. Like,
To
you
be
don't
like,
have...
I mean, if games were judged based on how detailed you can make your assembling gun animation look, then we should be giving Game of the Year awards to bloody Flight Simulator.
What? Wait, Flight Simulator has a thing where you make your own gun or weapon?
Well, no, it was just a hyperbolic example. The Flight Simulator doesn't do that, but yeah.
Oh, I get I get it. You mean basically if we judge stuff strictly on just the amount of detail.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, like I said, detail is nice, but it needs to have good direction to it, mind you. Again,
Oh yeah, I've got a better analogy. If it were like this, we should be giving the Michael Bay Transformers movies Academy Awards.
True. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically Michael Bay films do have a lot of detail in them. Lord help me.
I mean, it's great and all, but I think the issue with those movies and how they did that was that because a lot of people complained about the problems with scale in those movies.
Anyway, okay, so Shiroi, final thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2.
We're not done yet.
What are you talking about, Shiroi? Clearly the story's over. What else could possibly be after this?
But this isn't the last part, though.
No, there's like 1 or 2 more parts left.
I think, Pedro, you kind of gave it away because you abruptly cut away to the weapons changing, and we haven't seen the credits. Unless the credits are hidden in this part.
Yeah,
These
you have
are
to
the
assemble-
credits, just without the
before you get
text.
to the credits, you have to assemble your.
But okay. Let me change the question then. Shiroi, what could considering how appropriate it feels, I'm guessing you agree with me that it feels appropriate to end the story here. Okay, so it isn't. There's more after this. But what exactly could possibly come after this? What exactly is more to tell?
Where Abby is now, I guess?
I guess, but aside from just a brief scene telling us where she is, what else could possibly require 3 more parts after this?
Ellie visiting Joel's grave and crying.
We already had that at the beginning, though.
Well, we can have it again, besides, but that will be the first time this game has...
Does she ever go back to Jackson?
Ellie? No, remember, the idea here now is that they're living on this farm. So.
Again, it's pretty stupid to be living on your own in the middle of a zombie apocalypse instead of the nice warmth and safety of the Jackson community where you guys are welcome. Hell, what happens if you have a medical emergency? In fact, Tina, you are literally recuperating from a back injury.
And also an arrow
it's been
to the
years
head
since then,
or the
so-
back? Where did the arrow hit her?
Not just that, and like I said, she was pregnant, and the game implied with the way she was reacting to the pregnancy, even as early as it was, that it was apparently one of those risky pregnancies, where the body wasn't reacting as well as normal. So you'd think after what happened with her during the fight against that, you'd think she would lose the baby at the very least, but no, apparently the baby is perfectly fine and healthy. So
I guess somebody at this point pretty much shook Neil and pretty much informed him that if we had the baby get lost, that would have just been it. Like, the Darkness audience-induced apathy would have been complete at that point.
Nobody's going to kidnap the baby, are they?
that's the thing. That's the thing, Shiroi. The baby basically gets forgotten midway through the next part.
Believe it or not, Shiroi, the baby being kidnapped would have been better than what actually happened.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
Let me put it this way.
Well, the Incredibles did it at the end.
If the baby had died, that would have pretty much just put a cap on everything terrible that's happened to the characters here, which, like I said before, has fueled the Darkness-induced audience apathy to an absolute high in this game here. Seriously, Tommy is shot in the head, is shot in the back, Jesse is shot absolutely dead on plain sight. And you know what? I could talk about Abby's friends being part of it, but that would imply I care about Abby's friends. I don't. I care more about Ellie and her group, and, well, look at all the terrible stuff that happened to her. And not only that, Ellie gets brutally beaten by what she sees as the antagonist. Like, here's the thing. Here's the major issue. We, the audience, know that Abby has the supposedly sad backstory, But as far as Ellie knows, Abby's just a cold-blooded killer because Abby does not tell Ellie her life story. We saw her life story, but Ellie doesn't know it. So, what reason does Ellie have to feel sorry for Abby in this sequence? Nothing. It's like you said, Shori. It would be a lot better if the two girls just put down their weapons and talked it out. But nope, they don't.
Well, I mean, there's no guarantee of that being successful, but still.
It would be nice if they tried at least.
That's the thing. The game tries to talk about how, violence is wrong, but it always stoops to violence. Like, it never shows how a more peaceful solution would have actually fixed things.
But yeah, I do. For as terrible as it was for Neil and Evan to force you guys into crunch, all of you artists out there, I do at the very least want to commend you for the well done animations, for as unnecessary as they are, and for as much suffering as they cause to make. I will at the very least like to compliment you guys for doing a good job still, even in those circumstances.
And I do hope that you guys find better work, since word is that a lot of you left Naughty Dog.
Remember, Joe. Most of the art team has been replaced, and these are the artists that made these things now. So, I think at least
as well.
We do know that there was a mass exodus at Naughty Dog because of this game. We do know that, but I don't know if these animations were made by the previous art team or the new art team that was hired in emergency to be able to finish the game.
So here comes the $1 million question: which had a worse exodus, this or the team behind All Aeons Must Die?
Well, that's a whole.
That is a terrible. Like, let's not talk about that right now because that's just a whole mess.
And this part is almost over, so let's just not.
If I could very quickly get back to what I wanted to say, because
put it this way, both sets of allegations are pretty bad.
All right, go ahead, Shira.
Since it is actually relevant to what we're seeing right now, that's one thing that's been nice about it. I don't have any to pull up right now, but one thing I have been seeing is some artists, whether they be environmental artists or weapons designers and such. It has been nice to see some of the artists and designers at Naughty Dog, even though they're just small parts of this full game, they've been sharing their work. It's like, I did this, that kind of thing. And they've been quite happy with their work. And it's nice to see that, despite the hell they went through, it's nice that, they still feel the need to take pride in everything. It's just been nice to see them be happy about this.
So basically, Shiroi, despite everything, it was still you.
Yes.
What was that line from?
Undertale.
Again,
I haven't got that far.
You probably haven't.
Long story short, Undertale does a lot of what this game is trying to do so much better.
And it doesn't even do it perfectly either. That's the thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have seen. I didn't get that far in the game myself, but I have seen some cutscenes online.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Why the fuck is it? Considering the cat is out of the bag because the bit is done. Why the fuck isn't this game over yet? The story's done. We're done. You ended it.
I'm just gonna say this right now, Shura. You know how you said you would have hated this if this were the ending? It's going to get worse.
You've made your point, game. Violence is bad, and the cycle of revenge must be broken to achieve happiness. We get it. You've made your point. Why aren't you over yet? Anyway, everybody, see you for the next part to see what else Neil has in store for us.
Alright,
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.